Yeah, so this Officer Tatum situation is a whole lot more serious than what I originally thought. Now, those that have been following me for a minute, man, whether on this platform or one of my other ones, you know that I've been a consistent, continuous, relentless critic of Officer Tatum, right? I've never been a fan at all, and I've always called him out for his antics, right? I feel like what he does and what he uses his platform for is damaging to the culture. And again, any chance that I've gotten, I've called him out about it. So I was kind of shocked that his latest antic created controversy, right? And I'm excited that it's created conversation. But I want y'all to understand this, man. I've watched a lot of the content that he's put out there, and I've always said that it had to be a couple different things that was driving or motivating him to put out the type of content that he's putting out. I said either he's being put up to what he's doing by an institution, which may still be very well the case, right? Someone's putting him up to it, or either there's such an enormous amount of self-hatred or insecurity that he's adopting these what they call conservative viewpoints to be comforted in a way that makes sense to him in some way, some form or fashion based on his upbringing, which may very well be the case. But it's not just those two things. It's not just the fact that there's a possibility that someone has put him up to do what he's doing, or the fact that he's doing what he's doing because of insecurity. Listening to him engage in these debates, or not really engage, refuse to engage in these debates is telling, man, and everything, right? I get a good feel of what and who Officer Tatum is. And I'm surprised that so many intelligent people sitting in that room would even feel the need to try to converse with him after, I would say, the second debate. After the second debate, I don't care how intelligent the person was sitting across from him, Officer Tatum was still going to hold his stance. There was no way that you were going to convert that man to think anything different, right? So I began to do a little bit of research, man. What would lead to a person being brought forth knowledge or information that contradicts their own and show that their own belief is filled with fallacies, and for them not to take that on? One of the things that can come in play is belief perseverance. And belief perseverance is the tendency to maintain a belief even after the evidence supporting it has been disproven, right? People often continue believing something because the belief has become integrated into how they understand the world. Now, you see it a lot in racists or bigots, people that live their life stereotyping other people. It's hard for them to step outside of their beliefs because their beliefs has become integrated in how they understand the world. So to challenge their belief system is to challenge the way that they perceive the world. Now, when I listened to Officer Tatum and he refused to take in anything that anybody was suggesting, I said, man, is it belief perseverance? As the debates begin to go on, I said, okay, you know what? That's confirmation bias. And confirmation bias is our tendency to seek, remember, and value information that confirms existing beliefs while dismissing contradictory evidence. You can see in many instances where one of the debaters made statements that he agreed with. He didn't have any problem agreeing with statements that were made that complemented his own belief system. It's the rejection of anything that went against what he currently believed. There's not a person on this planet that knows everything. We all have something to learn. So if you find yourself as a person, which it clearly is the issue that Officer Tatum is dealing with, where you have belief perseverance or you have confirmation biases and you reject any information that contradicts your own, you have said that I am what I am and I'll never become anything different. That's the issue that I've seen in these debates. And then you have motivated reasoning. This goes a step beyond confirmation bias. And instead of a person asking, what's true, The mind unconsciously asks, how can I defend what I already believe? Right? People's reasoning becomes directed towards protecting a desired conclusion rather than discovering the truth. Right? Motivated reasoning, man, it goes a step further than confirmation bias. And again, it's still a form of self-protection. And it limits your capacity to learn and grow and move forward, man. And last being identity protection, right? Research in cultural cognition suggests that when a belief becomes tied to a person's identity, reputation, or social group, changing that belief can be like a threat to the self. And in those cases, rejecting evidence that isn't simply about facts, it can feel like protecting who they are as a person. Now think about it, man. Officer Tatum didn't build up a lifestyle, right? He started off as a football player in which he failed horribly. He decided to go into law enforcement, and that didn't work out for him. And now he's developed an enormous base for himself where he's able to travel and mingle amongst these people in big media. And he doesn't want to let that go for nothing, man. So if you're telling him to go against everything that he's put out into the universe, which has created an enormous platform for him, he's not about to lay down like that. And that's what he's shown. The only way that someone like Officer Tatum can be neutralized is to kill the resource. If he can't monetize what he's doing, it goes away rapidly. Look, just pay attention to his platform today. He's taken all of this backlash because he's put out all of this racist rhetoric, these antics that create division. And this morning he gets up and he says, you know what, how could I clean up my image? He goes and put on a hat that says something about him being a Jesus worshiper, right? That's what these type of people do. You see Charleston White do it a lot of times in his tactic. Whenever Charleston White is called out and he receives an enormous amount of backlash, he'll go back to sharing statistics, sharing his community work. These are strategies, man. I couldn't believe it, man. Well, I could. When I cut on the internet this morning and I look and I find Officer Tatum on his platform wearing a hat, confessing his love for Jesus. These are smoke screens, y'all. So again, man, you can't engage with a man who's hell-bent on holding on to his current beliefs because it's a protection of his identity. Not only is it a protection of his identity, it's a protection of his resource. If he adopts a different philosophy, he in his mind, it kills his whole base. It kills the work. It kills the fruit that he's been able to bear by putting out negativity into the universe. And he's not going to allow that to be compromised. So what we have to do is not let this be a momentarily thing, and let us be consistent and relentless at calling this man out, right? We're not trying to sit down and debate with nobody like him. I'm just talking about based on what I've shared in this episode. When a person is struggling with belief perseverance or confirmation biases, right? Or motivation reasoning or identity protection, cognition, you cannot reason with these folks, man. You cannot reason with them. And him being so motivated by, again, the network that he's been able to attain, the only way that you get through to a man like Officer Tatum is by taking a resource from him. Once that platform falls and it crumbles and his base is no longer his base, watch how quick he pivots. Watch how quick he changes his belief system. That's the only thing that's going to change a person like him and others like him. Just watch it, man. The moment that Charleston White can no longer exploit our foolishness, watch how quick he goes back to being an activist, right? When you look at the Hodge twins over there, which I'm going to do my next episode about, these guys make a living, man, off sowing division, right? A lot of their belief systems are deeply ingrained through their upbringing. And when you have people that are delusional, that don't want to come to light with different situations, mainly because of self-protection, we instead need to take and shift our focus on people that are willing to have the conversation. I have no desire to waste my time trying to convince a person that don't want to be convinced. It's a waste of time, y'all. I'm interested to hear what y'all got to say about this specific topic. I started full, I'm empty for now. I love y'all. I'll catch y'all next time.